Solo Leveling has quickly ascended to the top ranks of modern anime, blending dazzling visuals, ruthless action, and an irresistible power fantasy. Adapted from Chugong's popular web novel, the anime has captivated fans worldwide, becoming a cultural phenomenon after its debut in early 2024. However, while audiences have rightfully praised the show for its sleek animation and compelling protagonist, Jin-Woo, there's one glaring issue that continues to plague its otherwise polished narrative. Solo Leveling has one of the most poorly handled female casts in recent anime memory. At first glance, the anime appears to follow the modern shonen formula with ease: underdog hero, overpowered ascension, and an ever-expanding world of high-stakes battles. Yet, as the story unfolds, it becomes increasingly clear that its women are not characters, but props. They exist on the margins, rarely driving the story, and are only allowed to exist in proximity to Jin-Woo's character development. The women of Solo Leveling are spectators, not players. Battle shonen has evolved dramatically over the years, moving past tropes of damsels in distress and sidelined female companions. From Jujutsu Kaisen's Nobara Kujisaki to My Hero Academia's Mirko and Momo Yaoyorozu, recent series have introduced nuanced, complex women who contribute to their respective narratives. Solo Leveling, in contrast, appears to have regressed. Female characters are sparse in the story, and even when they do appear, their roles are disappointingly shallow. Jinwoo's mother exists only to be cured, his sister barely registers outside her familial bond to him, and characters like Han Song-yi vanish after a brief appearance. Even Hae-In, an S-rank hunter with immense potential, is reduced to another member of Jinwoo's admiring fan club. Her competence is implied but never showcased meaningfully. Her moments of power are always overshadowed by Jinwoo's omnipotence. A cast designed to elevate the protagonist, not themselves. Supporting characters in any story should help shape the world and challenge the protagonist's beliefs, actions, and growth. Unfortunately, the characters in Solo Leveling serve a singular function: to highlight Jinwoo's strength. This is especially true for the women. Their narrative purpose is either to be impressed by Jin-Woo, protected by him, or forgotten entirely. When the Ant King arc reached its climax, viewers saw several powerful S-rank hunters struggle. Hae-In, who could have been a momentary spotlight of female strength, was swiftly defeated, her fall timed perfectly so Jin-Woo could shine in dramatic fashion. It's a common trope, but Solo Leveling uses it so frequently that it begins to undercut any potential investment in these characters. Their inability to exist outside of Jinwoo's orbit reduces them to set dressing rather than living, breathing people. Power doesn't have to equal personality, but Solo Leveling gives neither. Strong writing doesn't necessarily mean every female character must be a fighter. Intelligence, emotional resilience, moral guidance, there are many ways to be essential to a narrative. But Solo Leveling fails to give its female characters even that. None of the women are granted a meaningful inner life, clear motivations, or development independent of Jin-Woo. They are rarely afforded moments to demonstrate agency or make impactful choices. In one notable moment, Han Song-yi decides to quit being a hunter, after Jin-Woo convinces her it's for her own good. What could have been a complex arc about fear, perseverance, and personal choice is truncated into another scenario where Jin-Woo's wisdom overrules a woman's narrative potential. One Punch Man did it better, and that says a lot. Many comparisons have been made between Solo Leveling and One Punch Man, another series with an unbeatable protagonist. The key difference, however, lies in how their worlds treat secondary characters. In One Punch Man, characters like Tatsumaki and Fubuki are shown to be capable, layered individuals, even when the spotlight isn't on them. They fail, they grow, they push the story forward. Solo Leveling doesn't afford its cast the same opportunity. Instead, it uses them as placeholders. Scenes that could build tension or develop rivalries are instead dominated by Jin-Woo's instant victories. This stunts the world building, and it limits the emotional scope of the show. It's hard to care about a character's fate when the show never taught us why we should care in the first place. Why this matters, the power fantasy becomes hollow. There's nothing wrong with enjoying a good power fantasy. They can be deeply satisfying, even inspirational. But when that fantasy comes at the cost of meaningful relationships, balanced storytelling, and a diverse emotional palette, it begins to wear thin. Sung Jin-Woo's journey is supposed to be about isolation, sacrifice, and transformation. These themes resonate more deeply when the world around the character feels full and complex. If the people in his life had stories of their own, had growth, failures, ambitions, then Jin-Woo's own development would be far more poignant. As it stands, his relationships are mostly one-way, and it makes the narrative feel emotionally shallow. The bottom line: Solo Leveling is undeniably popular, and it deserves credit for the things it does well. But it's time for creators in the anime industry to recognize that powerful protagonists don't need to overshadow everyone else in the story. If anything, well-written supporting characters, especially women, can enrich the journey and elevate the narrative. As the series continues, there's still hope that upcoming arcs will improve on this front. With deeper attention given to characters like Hae-In or Eselradiru, the show could correct its course. Until then, Solo Leveling remains a prime example of a power fantasy that fails to empower the people around its hero, especially the women.